Good afternoon. We are about to go live on overlandradio.com. This is going to be the inaugural show for the BROfessor. It's going to be pretty exciting time. I've been doing my podcast for a while now and been doing shows with Michael and Lee on Tuesdays, but Lee wanted to fill some slots and said, "Hey, why don't you have your own show?" And I was like, I don't know about that, but we'll see. But anyway, the BROfessor show is about to go live for the very first time, and we're going to try to do quite a few things with this. But tonight we're just going to talk about what we did at Artemis Overland Hardware on this past weekend, and share a little bit about that, about the Customer Appreciation Day. I'm Artemis Kitted, hashtag Artemis Kitted. I got my new shirt that Aaron Artemis hat. I got some stuff here to talk about that we picked up, and then just discuss the day. So it's going to be a fun time. And thank you for joining me on YouTube for this. I'm pretty excited about this and hope that you all get something out of it. So this will be uploaded to overlandradio.com as soon as Lee tells me how to do that. So we're all in the stage of learning part of this, and it's kind of a new process for all of us. But I wanted to make sure and get this out there on different media sites so that everybody can know what we do on overlandradio.com. It's 6:43 right now on Wednesday, August the 12th, 2020. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening in or looking in, or however you're joining me on this very first time to be on the air by myself live. Now, we will be having hosts on the show, but as of right now, I don't have the software that it requires to bring other people in to have like a Zoom meeting or stuff like that. So we're just going to go and do it the way that we did it live when we were at the Artemis show. So bear with me for just a minute and we will get started. I got to push all the right buttons. The Overland Train, as we bring this to you live on overlandradio.com. Our inaugural Overland Radio show is live right now. The BROfessor, I'm so tired. I have worked the last 3 nights and haven't got much sleep. And I went on so many trips this summer that the BROfessor funds are completely depleted. They are just no longer there. And so I'm having to do everything I can to work some overtime, build up my paycheck, and get some funds back in there, because this past weekend we went to the Artemis Expo on August the 9th of 2020. Now, this was supposed to be earlier in the year, but with COVID happening, it just couldn't happen. So we went to the Artemis Expo and had a great time. Now, my name is Joey. Some call me the Overland Philosopher. Some call me the BROfessor. And I am excited to join you live for the very first time on this inaugural BROfessor show. It's going to be fun. I hope you enjoy it. We haven't figured out how to get guests on the show yet, or have more than one person on the show. And I've got a little bit different computer setup. I don't have the Mac and all the cool stuff that Lee and Michael have when they do their show. So I've just got my little laptop and my cell phone and my little Samsung tablet and all this other stuff. So it's going to be a little bit different for me. I don't know what software I'm going to use to be able to bring people in, but we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. So I hope you join us in the chat. I won't be able to see the chat, but I hope you join us in the chat and let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if I cuss and don't know it, because that could happen. Just let me know. I'm excited for everybody to be here. I'm excited to be here myself. I was tired. I had to take a nap a while ago. I got up and I was walking through the kitchen and my arm hit my wife's candle and I broke the candle and I had to clean all that mess up. So it's been a crazy day, but it's going to be a good day, and I appreciate you being here. So the Artemis Expo, every year Aaron puts on a customer appreciation day for his people who come in throughout the year and come visit his shop. Aaron is all about building relationships with his customers, and so every year, once a year, he puts on his Artemis Expo, which is an appreciation day, giving back for his customers supporting him. Most of the time it's in April or May, but this year he had to move it. So this year we all had to put our mask on. It was one of those things where be prepared to wear a mask. So a few of us decided to go up early. It's quite a ways up there from Central Arkansas, about 3.5 hours. So we went up on Friday, and it was a long drive, but we wanted to be there in fellowship with each other because there was going to be people there that we don't get to see very often. Michael Hayden from all over Overland was going to come in, and we were going to do live shows every hour on the hour on overlandradio.com, just live there, so that we could do some remotes, try new things, see how it goes. And I was excited about getting to see him. I hadn't seen him since we went to New Mexico together back in June, and so we decided to go up early. My wife and I rolled in about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. Aaron was hard at work getting everything ready. He was putting away things, getting his tents ready, getting everything all set up, getting everything organized. He had the South African Land Rover guys there from Springfield, Jeff and Chris. They've got a shop there, work on Land Rovers. Such cool guys, man. I need to have them on the show because they have some amazing stories to tell. They're so fun. There were people working on a trailer in the parking lot. There were Land Rovers everywhere. I kind of felt out of place because I was like, man, everybody's got a Land Rover with me. Fortunately, Michael rolled in his new Nissan Frontier, and I felt a lot better then because the Toyota FJ Cruiser, it can hold its own. But Michael rolled in the Frontier. Then was a couple of us that didn't have Land Rovers, and I felt a little bit more at home. Now, and normally the back parking lot of Artemis is kept for the global expedition vehicles that are there. And so they had on Thursday or Friday morning had moved out all of their vehicles back to their lot, and there was just one truck there, so we would have room to have all of the vendors that were coming in and get all that set up. So the Land Rover guys had Jeff and Chris. They decided while they were there that they were going to line up all the Land Rovers for a photo shoot, and I think there was 6 of them there. I'm not real sure, it may have been 5, but 6 of them there. And so they lined them up all against the fence, and we took some photos. Very cool rigs. Then Michael had to get his Frontier in there and mess the photo shoot up. But then Chef Wes Johnson came in and just stole the show. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced Chef Wes, but Chef Wes is a genius. Now, back in February, I believe it was, maybe been early March, Aaron put on a overland dinner where Wes came in and prepared food that most of it I'd never even heard of. I mean, he sous vide stuff and he pickled stuff and all this kind of high class white collar food, but he prepared it on things that we normally cook on when we're outdoors. He had a kudu grill, he had a scuttle, and everything that we had was prepared and cooked on those to show us that you can do high class food on outdoor cooking mechanisms. And so Wes came, and Aaron said, don't bring anything for dinner. We've got this pre-prepared food that I'm going to give to you. And didn't really know what he was talking about at the time, but Wes came. He had everything pre-packaged, vacuum sealed, and he started cutting open the packages and putting it on the scuttle and frying it up. And we had chicken and chorizo tacos. And what their idea behind this is, and if you go to the new ArtemisOverland.com website, you can see that they have Artemis food. I'm not exactly sure exactly what it says, but they have it on there where you can go and get fresh, prepared food, and all of the work, the prep work, is done. You know, I love to cook outside. If you see any of my videos, any of my pictures, I'm always cooking something because my wife says we eat better outdoors than what we do at home. And she's right, because I love to cook outside. But the prep work, the cutting up of the onions, the cutting up the meat, the marinade, the making the sauces, that's not fun to me. It's not fun to me. And so what they're trying to do is keep everything fresh. It's not going to be freeze dried like a Mountain House meal. It's going to be fresh, and it's all going to come in its own little package. It's going to come with instructions. So all you have to do is read the instructions, open this package, throw it on the skillet or the scuttle with a little bit of oil, get that going, read the instructions, throw in the vegetables, throw in the sauce, get the tortillas warm, and it's done. And that's what he did right there in front of us. And so if you're thinking about getting high class, high quality food to take on your next overland trip, Aaron can have it prepared and ready for you. He can even ship it to you like a HelloFresh box in with frozen containers in there to keep it cool. They're not going to freeze it because it's going to be fresh. That's kind of the whole idea, is to keep everything fresh. And that way you can have high class food on your next trip. So think about that. When you go to ArtemisOverland.com on the new website, he has that on there under Artemis. I think there's 3 tabs, and over the left under Artemis you can see that they've got outdoor food listed under there. So while Wes was cooking, we put our camp up in the back parking lot. Normally Aaron works well with us, helping us, letting us camp in his back parking lot for events like this. So there was quite a few of us that was going to stay back here that are vendors. And so I told Aaron that we would bring up the Oz tent and let everybody see how it goes together. You know, they can see the RV5 that he has set up in his shop. And that's the one thing I love about Aaron's shop, is he has all of his tents set up where you can actually go up there and look at them. And that's exactly how we were able to figure out what we wanted that was best for us. You know, you can look on the computer all day at different tents, but to get the size down, to get a feel of how much everything weighs or different things like that, he's got it all set up in his shop. So it works very well for people to go in there and put their hands on things and, you know, touch it, feel it, see how hard or soft it is, see how thick it is, how warm it's going to be. And that's what I love about that. But I told Aaron I'd bring up our RV5, put up the side panels, hook it to the Fox wing, and let everybody see how everything works together. And so we were putting all that up, and Wes was coming in after he cooked us dinner. He was coming back around 2 a.m. because he was cooking half a hog. He had got the hog all set up and prepped, and it was on the smoker, but he was going to come back around 2 o'clock to get all that started. So the South Africans, Michael was there, Christopher Holloway from More Expo rolled in, and let me tell you, these guys, they were excited to see each other. Let me put it that way. They broke out the alcoholic beverages, and the laughter began, and it stayed. Oh, it was laughing deep into Saturday morning. I mean, deep. Mo and Mariah rolled in from, you can find them on Instagram at 4 Running the Ozarks. The number 4 Running the Ozarks. They have a 4Runner that's just outrageously built. Jason Harris, Ozark Overland Outfitters, has put them a rear bumper on, some Dobinsons, drawers, a new Snowmaster fridge. They got the Darchie awning and rooftop tent, and I mean, it's just sweet. And they were there going to set up a tent for the Express Rally, and so they rolled in. Everybody was having a good time. Wes was cooking. Uncle Funk rolled in. Now, let me tell you, Uncle Funk rolls in a 1969 Volkswagen bus. Van, bus, microbus, whatever you want to call it. But, I mean, this guy has got it set up. He's got a 48-inch light bar across the front of this and a light bar across the back, lights on the sides. He pulls in. I mean, he's just got big hair, big beard, and everybody just latched onto him. What a neat guy. I asked old Uncle Funk, I said, how many nights a year do you live in that bus? And he said, all of them. He said, I'm going on my 2nd year living in the bus. He's got an air conditioner in there, fans, plugs everything in. He's got propane. He's got a shower tent, a shower cube, and he's an ice cream man, helps get ice cream vehicles ready during the day. He lives in his van, goes around and does magic for different events, and it's pretty. He's a pretty neat guy. So Uncle Funk was there, and it was a big party Friday night in the back parking lot. No sleep. It was kind of funny. Back in February, we slept there for the More Expo. Had a fire going because it was cold, and the police actually came back there thinking that we were homeless people, had broke into the back parking lot, and I thought that was pretty funny that they didn't even tell us to put the fire out. I guess they're not firemen, so they didn't care, but we didn't need no fire this night. It was warm. I mean, we're talking August in Springfield, Missouri, and we didn't need a fire. So the next morning, after we did not get any sleep, we kicked it off at 9 o'clock a.m. Got up around 7. Guys were rolling out. We had to get everything cleaned up, ready, set up. I had to put out everything and get everything ready because we were going to do the radio show live. Vendors started rolling in. Natural State Overland rolled in with Randy Putt. Jason Harris rolled in. Ozark Overland Outfitters. Express Rally tent was set up. Chris Holloway with the More Expo rolled in. And Road Armor rolled in with the biggest, I mean, Mad Max looking vehicle I've ever seen. They've got this big bumper that goes around the front of the grill and even up over the hood. He said that their bumpers had been featured in 2 Fast and Furious movies, which is pretty cool. And they were there set up, showing everybody their new bed rack system. They've got a new rack system for the bed, though. He said it was the only one of its kind where you can put your spare tire up underneath the bed rack, and it's got a winch that raises it up and keeps it there just underneath the bed rack, which that's pretty neat. I'm thinking, yeah, I'd like to see that. That's pretty cool. But COVID has hit everyone really hard, but overlanders like to spend money no matter what. So a lot of people were quarantined at home, and And the unemployed have been sitting at home online doing a lot of shopping. They've got their stimulus money, and Aaron has done really well during this. He sold a lot of stuff. But what it has happened is the vendors have had a hard time keeping up because they don't have workers to produce the product. And so Aaron's had really hard time getting things stocked, like 23-0 tents and awnings and Alicab and iCamper. And everybody's running short or out. But just before this started, Go Free Spirit, the GFSR, came through with some tents. And Aaron had just set up his whole shop with Free Spirit tents, and they had kept him stocked. So we get everything kicked off, 9 o'clock. We're pretty excited. And then it started raining. Oh my gosh. And I believe where we set our tent up was where all the water decides to go in that lot when it rains. It was like the low spot. And I mean, it just flooded. Michael and I sat under the Fox Wing and went live on the radio with our feet in standing water. And I was just praying, come on, rain. We don't need this. We don't need this. Just go on. We don't need this. We want this to be a good day for the customers and for Aaron. Now, my wife, she was drafted into taking money at the gate and selling door prize tickets. And Aaron pulled his Artemis Land Rover up there, set the awning out for her, and she sat up there taking tickets and stuff. Well, about 10 o'clock, it stopped raining, and here come the crowds. And I mean, when they started coming in with a vengeance. There were people parked everywhere, across the street, in the parking lot next door, in front. They were just parked everywhere. It was so cool. Everyone was setting up their tents, their rigs. Rooftop tent guys were pulling in and setting up their stuff everywhere so people could just walk around and look at their setups. And I was swamped with people. As soon as it quit raining, I popped up the iCamper. I opened up the back of the FJ so people could see my setup. And I had people coming to see the iCamper, coming to see the little running water thing I had that I had made. And then as soon as I got done with them, I'd have people at the Oz tent wanting to know about the Oz tent and our homemade trailer and different things like that. And I mean, I talked and talked and talked and talked. And then I'd have to go find Michael, and then we'd do a live show, and then I'd come back, and then I'd get to talk to more people. It was fun. It was fun meeting new people, and people were like, hey, I follow you on Instagram. I was like, thank you. Hey, we're friends on Facebook. Man, it's good to meet you. And it was a cool time to meet all these people that I had known from social media. That's the cool thing about overlanding, is that you can meet people on social media, but eventually you might meet them in person at an event. And that's the kind of the way this was. Met so many people. It was so cool. And Michael and I decided to go over and visit with Jason Harris for a little bit. And so we climbed up in his quick pitch rooftop tent and did a live show up there. We went live on All Over Overland Facebook page, and we went live on the radio. And let me tell you, we got so many comments on that video on Facebook. It was funny. Everybody was like, man, you guys are just alike. And they were like, you do so good together. And I just thought, man, that's pretty good, but it's also kind of scary. And so anyway, but we had a good time. It was so much fun. There was guys playing guitars, music. Uncle Funk did his magic show. Wes came in, started fixing up the hog. We were just covered up with people. And then people started getting in line for the food. And Wes was just making pulling the pork straight off the hog that he had smoked, putting it in like a bun. It was a little bit different. He called it a Cuban taco. But he would tear the center out of this bread, put the meat in there, and then people had different types of sauce and a slaw to put on there, and then he was making mixed drinks for everybody. So everybody was real excited about the food. And so it was a fun time. At the end, we had giveaways. Aaron came and gave away so many things. He gave away recovery gear. He gave away a set of Max Tracks that Mo won. Sorry, dog. He won the Max Tracks. He was there. He was going to buy some anyway. And he ended up winning them. He gave away shirts and hats. And I have one of Aaron's new hats here. And let me tell you, I believe Lee designed the rooftop tent that's on this vehicle that's on the front of it. It says Artemis on it. You know, it's black and gray with the Artemis logo. And it has got a spongy front on it. It's just very comfortable. Very comfortable. He gave away shirts. Sport my new Artemis shirt that I won at the giveaway. So I am Artemis kitted. Hashtag Artemis kitted. I am personally Artemis kitted. It was so much fun. Natural State Overland paid for 3 people to go to the rendezvous. They gave those away. Road Armor gave away either $500 off their bumper or a fire pit. And they've got one of these modular heavy-duty fire pits that's real cool. Got their logo all in it. And guess what? The BROfessor won! Man, I was so excited. God, can't wait to get that fire pit in. I got to email that guy and tell him so I can get that on the way. So we were so excited to be here. People didn't really want to leave. Now was time to start shopping in the store. They'd been going down around to the different vendors and seeing what everybody else had, but now was the time when everybody went into the store. And it was funny. I walked in there and Miss Carrie, Aaron's wife, said, "Hey, Joey, can you help them?" And then I was helping other people get some stuff. I didn't know what prices were or anything like that. I just know what the gear is and what to tell them about it. So I was helping a guy with some roto packs, some Oz tent stuff, Oz tent tables. Aaron was helping people. Carrie was helping people. Connie was helping people. And it was awesome. It was a great showing. Thank you for showing up if you came that day. It was such a good time. It got hot after the rain and humid, but we didn't care. Every year we do this. It's a great event every year. The store changes every time you go up there. It's just a cool place. And now Aaron's got his new website, artemisoverland.com, where you can go, and it's so much easier to find things. It's super easy to find the brand that you want or the category that you want. He's got things in categories. And just check it out, artemisoverland.com. I want to shout out to Lee Odom. Lee was supposed to come. He started up this whole Overland radio thing, and he ended up getting exposed to COVID accidentally right before this whole thing, and he wasn't able to come. But man, we missed him. But he was supposed to come up there and bring his Opus trailer. I don't know if you've seen the Opus trailers, but you undo a couple latches, fold a couple things out, hit a button, and it blows up. And it's off-road. Man, they're so cool. And Lee was going to bring his Opus up there. And Lee, we missed you. We missed you, buddy. But anyway, we'll do it again next year. A few left after everybody else to go ride some trails up in the Mark Twain National Forest. We just crashed. I was tired. We hadn't got no sleep. Michael actually went inside Aaron's place, got on an Oz tent cot, and went to sleep and took a nap. My wife and I, we went to a Mexican place. She got a margarita, and we sat in the air conditioner for a while. We were hot. But we stayed again Saturday night, said our goodbyes Sunday morning, packed up and went home. What a wonderful time it was. And let me tell you, I picked up a few things. I picked up a wool blanket. Man, Aaron's got these Swiss Link wool blankets that he keeps in his store. And when we were in Colorado, Connie said, "I'm freezing. All we got is this little 2-man sleeping bag, and we're getting one of them wool blankets." when we go up to Aaron's. And I said, okay, that sounds good. So we picked this one out. We got us one on this gray, got a little star on it. It is so cool, so soft, and so warm. And I picked up something new. Now, when we were in New Mexico together, when Aaron and I were in New Mexico together with our families, we met at the Great Sand Dunes National Park. And Aaron had this new coffee. It's High Side single origin Guatemalan coffee. It's made by High Side, and what it is, it's 7 individually wrapped brew bags. So it brews like a tea bag. You get your water hot, put the bag in there, let it sit in there for just a little bit, and it makes coffee. And let me tell you, Aaron had some of this. He said, this guy came by the shop and he wants me to sell this coffee, and he said, I tried it and it was good. highsidecoffee.com. And Aaron sells this coffee in his shop. And I picked up some of this coffee because let me tell you, it is good. It's so good. And all you got to do is get hot water, drop this bag in there, and it's done. It's just good. So check it out next time you go in Aaron's shop, High Side Coffee, or order some from Aaron on his website. Pretty good stuff. And then I got some of this. This is what I get here. I got a camp cover set. These camp covers are little bags that go in like either a front runner box or something like that. Now let me tell you, we got some little boxes that we carry and keep our clothes in, and I hate digging around underneath my pants and my shirts for my underwear and my socks. Hate it. Can't ever find them, and then I think I haven't ever brought enough, and so then I'm telling myself, well, you're out, so you got to keep wearing what you got. So I wore a set of underwear for 3 days when I was in New Mexico. Get home and there was some socks and underwear up underneath my shirts that I just couldn't find. And so I got these little bags to put our underwear and socks in, and let me tell you, these things are very well made. They fold down flat when you're not using them, and when you are using them, they just pop up and you can put whatever in there. Have all different sizes. We just got the 4 square ones, but I am excited about that. So I got my coffee, got my hat, got my shirts. I'm Overland kitted. The BROfessor is Overland Artemis kitted, and I'm excited about that. Man, we had such a great time. I want to thank Aaron for having us all out. I want to thank you for tuning in and listening to my very first inaugural BROfessor show on overlandradio.com. So we're done. We just got off the air and had a good time. Talked about Aaron's thing. Talked about my stuff that I got. Check out this coffee. Man, I am a coffee guy. Good stuff right there, and it's a whole different way of brewing coffee, like with the tea bags and stuff. And so I appreciate you joining in. Thank you so much for checking this out. Check out overlandradio.com. We've got podcasts on there. We're going to start having a rig of the week on there where people can send in and tell us whose rig they think is cool. We've got music playing on there all the time. We got different shows throughout the night, and we'd appreciate it if you would just tune in and check it out, because it's something completely different, and we're trying to get this thing going, and we've got some big sponsors coming on, and we're excited about that. Wow! And man, so just go to overlandradio.com, check us out, and BROfessor said, always bro pose. We appreciate you joining in.